Good evening friends, welcome to your Learner 171's channel. Let us do analysis for Tuesday, that is for 20th June 2023. But before going any further, let us analyze what we discussed today as on Friday, right? Friday हमने आज के लिए क्या डिस्कस किया था? So as you remember, we always have three different scenarios. We had discussed that if gap up is sustained with a 30 minutes positive price action, only then we would go for longs, right? If gap up is sustained with 30 minutes price action. If gap up goes for negative price action, अगर गैप अप नेगेटिव प्राइस एक्शन के लिए जाता है एंड ओनली फ्रॉम द प्रीवियस स्विंग सपोर्ट्स makes a higher highs ka price action, we are interested in longs or we are not. You may see that gap up happened, this gap up was not sustained. Even if I change this on 30 minutes price action, you may notice that, let me just switch it to 30 minutes. You may see that back to back red candles have been made on 30 minutes ka frame, right? And again on support it started making dojis. This was the time again it started draining premium. For how long? For 30 minutes, 1 hour here, 1.5 hour, right? For 1.5 hour here, it kept on making dojis and again started eating premiums at the support, right? So even if this price action was downward, that was the reason we said that we want a smooth price action for shorting, right? For shorting, this is what we avoided. Even some people who have shorted calls would have gained here, but this was not in our setup, right? This we didn't discuss in setup. Same was applicable for Bank Nifty too. We said that only if gap up is sustained. If I take it back on 30 minutes price action, if gap up is sustained, only then we are interested in longs, or even if gap up comes down and from the support zone if makes a higher highs ka price action. Whenever I say higher highs, it needs to break the previous swing lower low, right? This is a lower low for the previous low, this is a lower low for the previous low. It needs to break the previous swing high, right, in order to go for long opportunity. So today there was no long opportunity clearly. If we come on option chain for Nifty, right? If we come on option chain for Nifty and see that the ATMs, right? ATMs, Nifty has closed at 18,755, right? Closer to 18,750 strike. So if we see this strike, we can see that calls have eroded because there was no long opportunity. But the same ATM strike, for the same ATM strike, the put has gained 2 rupees 60 paisa. Of course, from whatever the low, it must have gone for a good pumping. But as compared to the previous day closing, here I am counting the previous day closing. Friday's ke closing ke hisab se, the ATM strike gained 2 rupees 60 paisa. Even if one shorted from, let's say from the ITM series, right? Somewhere when the Nifty reached the high, what was the high today? The high was 18,881. Even if someone shorted, somewhere closed at 18,900, right? If someone bought a put, that put has gained 26 rupees as compared to the previous day closing. So still there was not quite a good flow, right, for ITMs also to gain that huge. If one is thinking about 18,900, or if one is thinking about ATMs like 18,750, of course are not good opportunity for call, but for shorting also. As long as VIX does not pumps, right? As long as we don't see VIX pumping for a very good price action where fear kicks in, right? Where fear kicks in, and as long as the swing lows are not broken in Nifty and Bank Nifty, there wouldn't be that stronger downward move, right? We have been discussing swing lows, right? What were the swing lows that we have been discussing? जब से ये price action upward trend में since the March, right? Since the March series, since the end of the March series, the swing lows have been protected. The swing lows have been protected. Here also we have discussed that 18,500, if it is broken on days frame, there can be a very good positional shorting opportunity. But this is not happening, right? The new parallel channel that we have drawn since when? Since the 17th May, when we are considering this new parallel channel, right? On this new parallel channel also, we have been discussing that at the bottom line of this parallel channel, we are saying Nifty is going in the upward direction itself. कि consolidate हो रहा है, एक दिन ऊपर एक दिन नीचे जा रहा है, it is consolidating, it is making a positive as well as negative price action on days candle, but still it is on the same line, right? It is still like consolidating with the higher highs itself on this low of parallel line. So any day if it starts staying inside with a days candle, still the upward journey can stay in the picture, right? If I just zoom in and you may see that still the upward journey ka picture can stay. You may see that what is this date? This is 12th of June. 12th of June से ये जो lower line है, right, parallel channel की, इस line के पास ही Nifty is consolidating for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for last 6 days, right? If I count this candle also for last 7 days, and the lows are still being maintained no matter whatever the candle is, right? For look at this red. This green candle never broke this low. This green candle never broke this low. This red came closer to this, tried breaking it, but again did not continue with the low price action. Same is happening again, right? This is the picture for Nifty, and for Bank Nifty it had stayed range bound, right? It had stayed in this bigger range. It has stayed in this bigger range that we had discussed since the day we have started analyzing Bank Nifty, right? This bullish hammer that I had discussed in previous videos for Bank Nifty also. What is the low of this? What is the low of this hammer? The low is 43,390. जब तक 43,390 is not broken and sustained on day's closing, right? Let me repeat this sentence. जब तक Bank Nifty on day's frame does not breaks and sustains a day's closing candle below this low, we cannot see a good probability of a positional shorting, right? Similarly, the last when it reached this 44,500 ka level, it is 44,498, not sharp 44,500. Still, the last, let's take the round figure, 44,500. What was the date? This day was 30th May. Uske baad, there is not a single candle which has been able to close above this resistance, and there has not been a single candle which has been able to close below this support. And you may see that every candle is still inside this bigger range of 1100 points, right? Every candles are in this range inside 1100 points. Now what happens in Bank Nifty? If I come back on hourly frames, you may see that the swings since 12th of May, since 11th and 12th of May, we are just having a bigger swings, right, which are neither respecting the support nor the resistance. The major frame support and resistance is still intact, right? But you may see that swings, this bigger swings turned into the smaller swings, again turned on day's frame to the smaller swing, again the swing increased. One thought that if this low is broken, there is an opportunity for shorting. You may see that again the swing pumped up, and from here, if one thought that now it is approaching the resistance was not broken, right? It was just playing around closer to the resistance, right? सारे price action resistance के नजदीक थे, पर resistance wasn't broken, right? And again price moved to the downwards opportunity, right? Again there was a negative price action. Same thing is happening every day. So what for tomorrow? What for tomorrow? If I come back on 15 minutes frame, right? If I come back on 15 minutes frame, let me just refresh this chart view, right? Okay. So again for tomorrow, just the same thing is happening. We are again at the lower end of this parallel channel, right? It is showing that we are outside the parallel channel, but with the outside price action, the swing low is not broken, right? Look at this. This has happened earlier also, right? But the swing low was not broken. So as long as for tomorrow, if we are opening flat, right? If we are opening flat, where we closed, closing is at 18,754. अगर हम flat खुलते हैं तो again 18,700 is the support, right? It doesn't matter if it opens flat and it starts going down, right? We can see that ATMs, what it has gained from previous day closing, it is just 2 points positive for the puts I'm saying, right? For the option buyers perspective. So for a proper scenario, if we open flat and if we are approaching downwards, I am not interested in shorting. If we open flat and if we are able to sustain above 18,800, right? If we open flat, we are going down. I am not interested in shorting. But if we open flat and we are able to sustain above 18,800, right? ऐसा नहीं कि flat जा रहे 18,800 से वापस 5 minutes candle is going down. Let it open flat. Let it go above 18,800 and let an hourly candle close above 18,800, right? It doesn't matter if it closes somewhere around 18,850, 18,660, 18,70 कि ऐसा नहीं कि 60-70 points टूट गए अब आगे क्या? We still have an opportunity for long, right? If an hourly candle also with the flat opening is able to close above 18,800 and the price action is for higher rise. ऐसा नहीं कि today you can see this candle. This is negative price action candle, right? So if an hourly makes the negative price action above 18,800, it is not useful. Let it make the positive price action and let the higher highs frames continue, right? This kind of frames should continue. Higher highs frame continue. Then we will be interested to make another long, right? With the flat opening, if hourly also sustains above it, right? Because why? Because we are not considering just 5 or 15 minutes. Because sellers can still try to take the price action down, and only when the major frames ka price action can stay positive above 18,800, we can have a good opportunity for longs, right? What if we open gap up? Now for gap up, if the gap up is closer to 18,820, 18,850 and the first 15 minutes makes the negative price action, right? If we open gap up and the first 15 minutes makes the negative price action around this parallel line, the way whenever it has opened gap up and started with a negative price action, then the high of the candle would be considered as an SL and we may go for shorting opportunity till the previous closing, right? Till the previous. This is intraday ka possibility, right? So if gap up is happening and negative price action comes, we may go for shorting. Another possibility for gap up, if gap up is happening and it is sustained with the positive price action, right? A 15 minutes candle is making a positive where the low is not broken and it is going for higher highs, then we would be consider the low of the candle as SL and go for the long opportunity, right? For gap up we will consider long also, for gap down we will consider short also. Depends on how the 15 minutes candle is being made, right? The candle needs to be stronger around this range, and that way we will consider both the price action. Remember that for shorting we look for lower lows ka price action, for going longs we will see higher highs ka price action if gap up happens. On the same note, if gap down happens, any gap down from 18,750 which is closer to 18,700 or 18,680, so this were the price actions, this were the points, this were the strikes that we were not able to cross, right? It took time to cross, Nifty took time to cross this price action, right? So any gap down closer to 18,700, closer to 18,680, right? And if it is making a bullish hammer, this kind of hammer, if it is creating this kind of price action, if it is making this kind of price action, right, and making an higher highs pattern closer to 18,680, closer to 18,700, I'm again interested in long, right? But in intraday, if a gap down happens and a 30 minutes candle, right, if in intraday a gap down happens and 30 minutes candle is able to close below this low, what is this low? It is 18,667. We can consider 18,660. Let the gap down happen, let the price retrace, let the price go sideways, and if it is able to sustain below 18,660 in the first half itself, before 12 p.m, if there is any 30 minutes price action, if it is able to close below 18,660 with the negative price action, ऐसा नहीं कि यहाँ पे आया और यहाँ से वापस ऐसे bullish hammer बना दिया सपोर्ट के पास, फिर and we are expecting कि अभी नीचे जाएगा, then it won't go down, right? A negative price action, if it breaks below 18,660, again we are interested for shorting opportunity till 18,550 as long as lower lows are maintained, right? And many a times in my videos I have said that when I say lower lows, I want this low to be lower to this low, right? I want this low to be lower to this low. This is the lower lows. As soon as this low tries to break the previous swing high, we are exiting, right? Same theory is applicable for higher highs also. So we discussed gap down both the scenarios, we discussed gap up both the scenarios, we also discussed flat scenarios, right? What about Bank Nifty? Bank Nifty, again, if I come back to the 15 minutes ka frame, considering all the possibilities that we have discussed in Bank Nifty on the bigger frames, again see from here, flat opening I am not interested in Bank Nifty. What is happening with Bank Nifty? Bank Nifty हमेशा swings बना के अगर बीच में ही close हो जाए तो नीचे से support देने वाली भी बहुत लोग हैं और ऊपर से resistance देने वाली भी बहुत लोग हैं. So as an option buyer, if I am seeing that an opportunity for shorting, it doesn't matter even if how much down it goes, right? But still there are supports which will bring on this swing pumps. Look at this pump, look at this candle, look at this candle, right? That can bring pump. So again for tomorrow, because we have closed in between, I wouldn't be looking for flat opportunity, right? Neither for upside, neither for downside, doesn't matter, wherever the candle can go. Just like Nifty, in Bank Nifty also, if gap up happens, I'll see the price action. Look at today's price action, a negative red candle, right? A negative bearish candle where the high was not broken, lows were being maintained. So any gap up which is closer to 43, which is closer to 44k, or any gap up which is closer to 43,800 or 43,750, as long as, right? Any gap up which is, let's not go for this huge gap up also, let's discuss smaller probabilities too, right? Any gap up which is closer, which is below 43,800. Why 43,800? Look at this swing, right? From here buyers can again try to push the price up, right? So any gap up which is below 43,800, any gap up which is below 43,800 with this similar negative price action, I am interested in shorting considering 50 points SL, right? Let's say if gap up happens closer to 43,800, closer to 43,780, this kind of range, right? And if the negative price action is happening, I would consider 50 points SL above the high for the shorting opportunity, as long as lower lows are made. But if any gap up above 43,800, any gap up above 43,800, if it is sustained with the positive price action, like this hammer which happened on Friday, any gap up above 43,800, if it is sustained with positive price action, lows are not being broken, I am interested in the long opportunity. This is for gap up. Same theory same theory I am using for this gap down scenario also, right? Same theory we will be using for gap down scenario. So any gap down from 43,600, if it happens closer to what? If it happens closer to 43,500 or if it happens closer to 43,400, then this price action from Thursday, which had stayed support from the low, it has been a support, right? So any gap down अगर जो वो 43,500 के पास होता है, 43,450 के पास होता है and makes a positive price action, again this kind of hammer, again a green hammer, makes a higher highs pattern, we are interested in long opportunity as long as it goes in higher highs का probability to the previous closing, and from this previous closing also, if it is going for the higher price action, we are interested to stay in long. Only if it is breaking swing low, we will exit, right? Similarly, if gap down breaks the 43,379 ka support for hourly closing, right? For hourly closing and still keeps on going for what? For negative price action, only then we will short, right? In this way, we have discussed Nifty as well as Bank Nifty, all the three scenarios, right? On that note, I am ending this video. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Thank you.